All right, so what I want to say is, okay, so you're watching this video, I'm in prison, so the situation is going to be, never say never, right? But the most likely thing is I'm going to be reading my book, having a nap, so it's going to be fine, okay? So I'm not making this video to try and make out I'm some sort of hero. I'm just saying I'm in prison. And the fact of the matter is, other things being equal, it's not going to be a big deal. And it's not a big deal compared with the massive sacrifice that thousands of people are making, particularly in the poorer countries of the world, in the global south, who are getting tortured and killed to do the sort of work that we need to do. So that's something to bear in mind. But the fact of the matter is, like, there's millions of people in this country who are making massive sacrifices every day. You know, they're working really hard, 50, 60, 70 hours a week, and at the end of the week, they've got no money. And I know what it's like because I lived like that for 20, 30 years, being an organic farmer, right? There's no money in it. And also, like, it's not as big a deal as like being a parent, right? Having a baby and all that stuff. Because with one of my daughters, I was like up every night, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, walking her up and down, carrying her up and down the kitchen. I'm sure many people who've got kids remember this. And all you're thinking for 5 or 10 years is, when the hell am I gonna get to sleep? So compared with all that, right, going to prison is no big deal. And that's the whole point, right? The whole point of what I'm trying to say is getting arrested and going to prison, other things being equal, is not anything to worry about. So that brings me on to the second massive headfuck sort of point here, which is how the hell are we going to sort out the climate crisis? And this is what most of my videos are about. And this is what I've spent 4 or 5 years trying to work out with other people. How are we going to turn around this massive juggernaut? Everything in our society, everything in the economy, everything in our politics is taking us towards this suicidal destruction. Okay, so there's 2 things to say. Like, the whole conventional campaigning thing is not working. It hasn't worked for 30 years and it's not going to work. It's just not going to happen. This is massive. How this is going to work is through mass economic disruption. Economic disruption, it all sounds pretty abstract. But in an emergency, like when a house is on fire, you have to break down the door. There's no two ways about it. You have to break down the door, run upstairs and save your kids, right? Economic disruption is breaking down the door. It's not pretty. It's not like well thought through. It's something you have to do. So what does it mean? What it means is you're sitting in the road, you're sitting on the railway tracks, you're sitting on the runways, you're disrupting things. And it's not pretty, and no one wants to do it. You know, I just want to weed my spinach on my farm, right? I don't want to be doing this. I don't want to be making this video. I don't want to be reading all those, like, you know, abusive comments, right? It's not a popularity contest. If you want to deal with an emergency, people are going to get mad. And that's part of the process, because it always was, and it's always going to be. And that's what's necessary now. So the situation is I've got this nice cushy job at Extinction Rebellion. You know, I'm getting paid, for God's sake. I've got a nice desk. I come in every morning. It's really easy. It's great. But I'm going to the front line. I've got myself into prison because that's what's necessary. And the fact of the matter is, I'm sure there's loads of people watching this video. There's loads of people out there that are making all these excuses. And they're just excuses, right? Like, yeah, you know, I've talked to hundreds of people over the last 2 or 3 years going, I can't get arrested, you know, I can't get to prison, you know, I can't go to prison, all that sort of stuff. You know, because of my family, because of my career. Well, the fact of the matter is, like, you could get arrested and go to prison, and you could lose your job. But if you lose your job, like, then you lose your job, you get another one. It's not the end of the world. You know, you talk to your partner, you talk to your family, maybe you lose your partner. It's not the end of the world. You know, life is hard. People lose their jobs all the time. People split up all the time. It's not the end of the world. What's the end of the world is the end of the world. So, obviously, this isn't for everyone, you know? Like, if your mum's about to die, don't go to prison, right? If you're about to have a baby, don't go to prison. If you're really claustrophobic, it's not a good idea. If you're going to get traumatized for whatever reason, don't do it. But the fact of the matter is 90% of people, 90% of the time, can take this step. So what's the practicality here? The practicality is on the 7th of October, thousands of people around the world are going to put themselves in harm's way because harm's coming down the road anyway. And they're going to be sitting on roads and all the rest of it. And they're going to be causing economic disruption. And when you cause economic disruption, you know you've caused it because people arrest you and put you into prison. And that's where we need to be. And the last thing is, again, let's just remember, right? The whole crisis, this whole ecological climate crisis, it's not a thing. It's not a thing that you do. It's everything. It's everything there is. Everything that we love. That's the situation. And yeah, it's going to be hard, and life is hard, but you never know, it might just be the best thing you ever do. So let's do it. And that's it. Thanks.